Hello there and welcome back to another review. So today I thought we'd have a look at Jackie Chan's 2006 movie Robin B. Hood. A lot of fun with this one, sort of a light-hearted sort of crime caper, but really fun Jackie Chan movie. Written, produced and directed by Benny Chan, starring Jackie Chan of course, Louis Q, Michael Hoy and Yuen, and I have to say what a great fun light-hearted film this is. It's a caper and this is what the film is. It's just a caper. It's a caper that happens. Jackie very much going against type here. It's like usually he's sort of the lovable underdog, that everyman. Here he actually plays sort of a gambling thief, but it's still Jackie Chan doing his thing, and he really does. Again with this film, I think there are certain films that Jackie done between sort of late 90s, sort of mid 2000s, where it looked like he wasn't really invested. The film's still entertaining. It's still, it's a Jackie Chan movie, but there are some films of Jackie's where he doesn't seem to be sort of 100% committed when he's in certain films. Just around that, not many, but there's some films in particular where it's like Jackie Chan obviously is not maybe not feeling it, but here he definitely is. In Robin B. Hood, you can tell he's definitely sort of fully on board here. But there's nothing sinister or dark about his character. It's still very much Jackie Chan. But even Jackie Chan playing a light-hearted gambler and thief, I think at the time was still a bit of a risk for Jackie. I mean, this is a character that does have negative attributes, and as Jackie Chan's fan base, especially in the 80s, much of the 90s, especially like these female fans, they hated seeing him with having a love interest or seeing him cast as anything less than what they were used to. This film does take a risk, and it's a risk that actually pays off. I mean, nowadays Jackie pretty much acts, plays and stars in whatever he damn well feels, but back at the super height of his popularity, he had to be very careful what roles he picked through fear of upsetting his target audience. Benny Chan unfortunately passed away in 2020, I believe, but he's well known for directing films. He also worked with Jackie on Who Am I? That was another film he did. New Police Story, Gen X Cops. I think his last film was the Donnie Yen one, Raging Fire. I think that might have been the last film he directed. I will have to check that. Maybe some of you can leave a note in the comments, but I think that was the last film. But yeah, Robin B. Hood, about a group of thieves who end up taking care of a baby. I think it's a great Jackie Chan movie. My only major gripe with the movie as to what it is, you could argue the film, and I don't, often say this, but I think for what the setup is and what the premise is, I think it's a little bit maybe too long. I think it could have been done with maybe being 10 or so minutes shorter than what it is. I mean, it clocks in at, I'd say, just around the 2 hour mark. And for a film about some petty criminals who have to look after a baby, it's just not like cut much by much. It just could have been maybe wrapped up a bit quicker than what it is here. But we get a great choreography that we all know and love here. Fantastic seeing Yuen out with Jackie again, even if he doesn't actually get much to do in the way of fighting Yuen in this movie. It's still great to see him nonetheless. Michael Hoy is one of the original godfathers of Hong Kong comedy and was in films such as Private Eyes, if you're familiar with the Hoy brothers, and his brother appeared with Jackie Chan in the original Cannonball Run as well. And I think the baby on this film made shooting it, I think when you work with children, especially like say babies, I think here, I think because of the kid involved, I think it took a bit longer than what they originally had planned, because you can't really tell a young baby how to act. I don't think, that's not going to work. Babies obviously can't be told what to do, and I believe the film did go over budget. I think what makes the film work though is the amount of charm that it has. This is a film that has a lot of charms, and as I say, when Jackie Chan is fully on board with this one, and I'm not saying, when I was talking just a minute ago, like when Jackie's not invested, there are times when there are certain films of Jackie's that when I get around to reviewing them, you'll know what they are, where he doesn't seem overly invested in sort of what's happening, or he might seem a bit distant in certain scenes. But I say Robin B. Hood, he's very, very much there. It really does pull out your heartstrings, this one, as well, as the film goes on. So we meet Feng's an octopus played by Jackie and Louis robbing this hospital, and right away we learn one is a gambler and the other is a womanizer. And what is funny about this hospital in the opening, it looks more like a place of business than anything else. It looks more like a place where people are going to their offices for work, or an actual hospital. All the while this girl has just given birth. Her crazy ex, Max, I think his name is, he sort of snatches her newborn, her baby, as he wants her to marry him and not Calvin, this new guy that she is seeing. So because he just can't stand the fact she's basically moved on with her life. So he's sort of like, she finished with him and he's taking it in a really, really, really bad way. And you have to love Jackie's epic belly slide down this huge like banister, like as security are chasing him at the opening of the movie. And this is when what was fantastic about Robin B. Hood, the stunts. Though like I say, this is a latter. I think any film after 2000 is really latter Jackie Chan. I always think that's later Jackie Chan, after sort of the gorgeous sort of rush hour period. But the stunts in this film and just the way they seem much more epic, they seem much more grand, and it really is a really great, it's a really well great production throughout this movie. But I say his slide down this banister is really fun. So during all this commotion, like Max falls to his death and Jackie saves the baby. Then we get a montage of our three crooks involving Michael Hoy and their exploits and what they get up to. They sort of nip that in the bud. They just do like a sort of montage. As I say, although Jackie is going against type, it's still very much a light-hearted film. Jackie is in debt to Mac Daddy, and you have to love the scene of Jackie jumping down sort of the air conditioners on the outside of the building. All in one take, and even at the end in the bloopers, you see him, like, I think Yuen fluffs a line or something, and he's like, look, this is a one take shot. They're laughing, obviously, but he has to jump down these, and he's going left to right down these air conditioners. And at the time I was like, what, damn, like, I was like, Joe, that's still a great stunt. That's still what miles and years ahead of what anybody else is doing at the time. And Jackie Chan, that's why Jackie Chan is and will always be the greatest action star of all time. Just an end of discussion. But there's some great stunts in this movie, really, really great stunts. So Octopus Lewis' character, like we learn, is married and his girlfriend is pregnant, but he's like super rude and mean to her all the time. Like, seriously, he's like a complete and utter jerk to his girlfriend. Feng's dad is ashamed of him and what he has become, and Jackie's dad basically disowned him. His dad, played by Ku Feng. If any of you know who Ku Feng is, he was in a lot of the Shaw Brothers movies. Loads, too many to mention. Landlord Michael Hoy's character gets burgled and loses all his money and savings. And you have to remember, when the film was made, the Jackie was 52, I think, at this point. I think he was in his early, because he was born in 54, and I think he was around, must have been 52. And he's in such great shape. He's incredible physicality here, and he really, he seems to be having a real blast in this film, Jackie. I think he's really relishing this film. I'll tell you, actually, when you talk about films where he doesn't seem sort of that invested, like Gorgeous is a bit like that. Like, it's sort of, I enjoy Gorgeous very much, but in that film, Jackie doesn't seem to be like, I don't know if it's just the character, it might be just me picking up on certain things, but even in certain scenes of Dragons Forever, he's a little bit sort of like his mind's on other things. Not in every shot, not all the way through the movie, but just little bits and pieces here and there where he looks like a sort of, might be, like I say, a bit deflated in certain scenes. So the landlord gets them this job that pays $7 million, and it's only once they are there that Feng's and Octopus learn that it's to kidnap a baby. I do love when they are when they're driving with the baby and the landlord is on the phone to his contact saying, we are just dealing with an arsehole on the road, and he's like, yeah, me too, not realising they're actually talking about each other, which I thought was quite funny. And when the landlord is driving with no lights on and wonders why it's so dark, so the landlord gets arrested whilst Feng's and Octopus take the baby home, as it was landlord's deal and he has the point of contact. So in the meantime, they just basically, Jackie and Lewis, have to look after this young baby. You can't beat Jackie hiding a baby under his jumper, only to have said baby bite on his nipple and start because he wants to be breastfed. As they are coming to terms with their new friend, we have some shenanigans at Toys R Us, and Feng befriends the nurse there called Melody. They start to take these classes that gives them help on how to look after a baby. Ken Lo's in this one. Ken Lo often pops up. Was Jackie Chan's bodyguard in The Drunken Master 2. He's in loads. Brief bit in City, loads of films. Ken Lo and his goons who work for the guy who wanted the baby kidnapped find them at these classes. We get a nice little fun scene involving a trampoline, even if it's old too. I know I was expecting a massive sort of set piece here from Jackie Chan with this trampoline. It doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really do that much. I was expecting a bit more from the trampoline, but you get a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Octopus's girlfriend Yan comes by their place with the scan results of their baby, and again, you really do feel for her, like, and how crappy he is to her. Like, he's so mean to her. So, but the whole idea with the story is Fong's has been gambling less, and like sort of Octopus has been like thinking about patching things up with his girlfriend. So looking after the baby has actually helped them become better people, is sort of what's going on. That's the whole premise here. We have Yuen Biao's Detective Mock here. So great to see Jackie and Yuen Biao back together. Wouldn't this film though have been so awesome if it was Jackie, if like Jackie, Yuen and Fong's and Octopus and Sammo was like the landlord. Not to take anything away from Michael Hoy, but this could have so easily have been a Three Brothers movie. It really could have been, like I say, if you had Jackie and Yuen as Fong and Octopus, Sammo as the landlord, it could have worked. It really could have worked. And not to take anything away from Ko or Hoy, but that would have been so amazing. So great fun scene with loads of people who come by their apartment. Ken Lo, Jackie's debt collector, Yuen Biao, Jackie saying they're all his cousins, all the while the baby is spinning in this basket on the outside of the building, and it just, it just gets silly, but funny silly. We get a nice, great fun fight here between Jackie and Yuen, getting to do a few moves. Anything, I will take anything if these two are involved, even if it's just 3 or 4 punches or them sparring. It's like even just the opening training scene from Wheels on Mills. I could watch that every day and still not get bored of it. Just anything involving Jackie Chan and Yuen Biao, I'll take it if nothing else. Then we get a pursuit on the road after the baby buggy gets caught in like this armoured van, and watch out for 2 cameos here from Daniel Wu and Nicholas C. And love it when Ko is on the bonnet and Jackie's like, free the push car, and he's like, what do you think I'm doing, sunbathing? It's just which is quite funny. And I say the film does pull at your heartstrings somewhat, and it's not all fun and frolics like when you see Jackie's dad barely able to climb the stairs after his stroke. It does, there is parts of drama in this film, and I think that's why, because of its length, they're trying to give you like a comedy film, a crime caper, but also give it a bit of an emotional weight hit here, where these characters do actually learn, their characters change, they see the light, they come to they become better people at the end of it. Again, Jackie Chan acting, when going back to like my Little Big Soldier review, Jackie Chan acting amazingly well in this film. Like I say, really on board with the production, really giving his all here. So with the landlord now released, they all meet at the hospital. Emotional scene too, where he lets his wife hold the baby as they have lost a child. I think for what Benny Chan does really well is he doesn't forget the heart in his script, and there's more heart in this movie than you would actually expect. Talking of, like I say, later Jackie Chan movies, which I know when you think later Jackie Chan movies, I mean, we're in, I deem them as like sort of from 2000 onwards. Sort of after he made it big with Rush Hour and Rumble in the Bronx. I view that anything after that sort of like as later Jackie Chan movies, even though at the time compared to like sort of now, he was still relatively young. But this film, Benny Chan does put some heart in. So they go to make the handover to the guy who paid them for kidnapping, but Fong's and Octopus have basically become attached to the baby, and after the deal they go to get the baby back, which leads to a Ferris wheel, because the guy wants the baby as his own amusement park, right? Like, why not? He's got his own, it's explained why he's got an amusement park, but so what we have here is Jackie Chan doing stunts on roller coasters. Right, if you can imagine such a thing, it's just awesome fun stuff. So the guy who wants the baby is the dad of the guy Max from the start of the movie. He's still holding a grudge, because he's what happened to his son. He tries to take his girlfriend's baby and he blames everyone else. Basically, he blames her for his son's death. Turns out after the blood test, it wasn't even Max's baby anyway, and some guys just can't handle it when they get dumped, I guess. I guess that's the whole premise here. Like, just if you get dumped or your girlfriend don't want to see you, just take that as what it is, So we have a great fight scene with Jackie taking out his men as the baby is trapped in this freezer, involving like keyboards, drum kits, I think they're like elastic band guns they sort of use at one point. Even baby poos involved, quad bikes. There's everything sort of in the kitchen sink involved in this. It's all in there, and you do see a lot of poo in this movie. There's a lot of poo. Probably more than you need to. There's probably more baby poo in this movie than there actually is warranted. So they get trapped inside. The landlord and Steve Mott come in the nick of time, and the landlord picks the lock. Again, another heart-wrenching scene where they think the baby is dead, and Jackie is trying to and Jackie's sort of crying his heart out, even using like a makeshift like defibrillator to using himself as a conduit to try and save the baby. This film is a lot more emotional than you think it would, like it would be. I think it's when I say it's long, I think it's a bit longer than it needs to be, and I thought as well it's a lot more emotional than it needs to be. But I think that works really well, that emotional side to it. I think it was, if it was just a straight up comedy crime caper to see these buffoons have to look after a baby, it wouldn't quite resonate as well. But I think where, like I say, where Benny Chan and Jackie Chan, they do put an emotional weight with these characters, it just holds a bit more. It just, it's a lot more emotional than what you might initially think if you've never seen it. So the baby doesn't come to, and you have like this choir music going on in the background. It really can make you invested in the scene. However, we learn the baby has a pulse in the ambulance. At the end of the movie, you think they're being executed, actually. It ends on what you think is actually quite a dark tone, but it's just a mock sort of capital punishment demonstration they're doing, and all their families and loved ones come to visit them. Then as everyone is making friends, the family they kidnapped the baby from actually end up giving them jobs, if you can imagine such a thing. But yeah, they sort of end up working for the people they kidnapped the baby from, because it turns out they find out they weren't really the bad guys. And but it's a really enjoyable movie, and it's really entertaining. It's as I say, maybe a bit too long than it needs to be, but because this could have easily been in anybody else's hands, or anybody else starring in it, or even anybody else directing it. This could have been a very, very by the numbers movie. If it was done like stateside or anything like that, but with Jackie Chan doing his Hong Kong thing, it was always going to be entertaining. You can imagine if this was like Brett Ratner got the script for this, I don't think it would have been as good as what we got here. But check it out. As I mentioned, I guess my only gripe with the movie that it's long longer than it needs to be for a movie this type. But it's only a minor nickel. But it's not necessarily a classic Jackie Chan. It's not like you must see it, but it's a really fun Jackie Chan movie, and it's a very different Jackie Chan movie actually as well. And it's worth, as I say, some great stunts, some great comedy, emotional weight, and it's great seeing Yuen in there as well. But it could have so easily been Sammo, Jackie, and Yuen in there. You could have easily done that, and it would have been wonderful to see them three on screen together doing one last movie, all three of them for one last time. But thank you very much indeed for watching. Go and check out Robin B. Hood. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you soon.
Don't concentrate on the finger, or you will miss all that heavenly glory.